And this is.
We make jail look like blood clot, one clean like whistle, shine like Billy King, shit that one from pussy.
And this is.
We are modern bad man with modern badness. Your finger never shaky yet. Clot clean like whistle, but I'm new.
First I put on this Gorgon.
Oh, you mean?
Yeah, everything you don't put on brand new. No repeat.
We not repeat.
Repeat the report went on about. Repeat jump out left O.
Our report come back and I inform of that.
And we have got Van Hockey Marshall.
If them a ball, let run them, let them come. If them a stupid, run them, let them come. If them a dreadlocks, run them, let them come. Run them, let them come.
Imagine a dance hall without Ninjaman. No Don Gorgon, no wild performances, no outrageous lyrics, no unpredictable jokes, no one stepping onto a stage and somehow turning the entire place into his personal playground. For many dancehall fans, it is difficult to even imagine the culture without Desmond Ballantyne, better known as Ninjaman. Because Ninjaman was never just another dancehall artist. He was a character, he was an entertainer, he was a comedian, he was a clash specialist, he was a storyteller, and most importantly, he knew how to connect with people.
And hi Ninja Wagwan.
Correct that.
What me fi say then?
The original front teeth, gold teeth, take off down half a teeth, brush teeth, toothpaste, and now spit no more shot in the face. Early Sunday morning, Dan Gorgon talk. Remember Dan Gorgon.
Dan Gorgon.
Get it right.
For decades, Ninjaman had a way of making people laugh while keeping them entertained at the same time.
I don't look a normal man, you know. When me born, my mother knows me gonna be a man, so she call me Desmond. You see, me start grow up in life, the way me ugly as a man, them call me ugly man, so Desmond and ugly man are two that in a one. You see, when me bust in the music business, they call me Ninjaman. 3 man is a stout, and me better than dragon. Me are the original front teeth, gold teeth, Dan Gorgon. Me a man.
Whether you agreed with everything he said or not, when Ninjaman stepped onto a stage, you knew something was about to happen.
Next year at the end of the day, may I make, where's that?
True.
Let me tell you, me suck me mother, but your mother suck me. And the worst is that me step on your TV. So you know Ninjaman pay 80 my father until you are ready.
And that is one of the biggest reasons so many dancehall fans still love him and miss him today. Before we get into this story, subscribe to the channel, follow me, and leave your thoughts in the comments because I want to know something from you. If Ninjaman was released tomorrow, would you want to see him back on a dancehall stage? Ninjaman came from a generation when dancehall was built around personality. Artists weren't just expected to make songs, they had to command a crowd, they had to have a presence.
No man with box down your pussy, talk.
Me bust you with me gun in your face.
No, do it.
I have me gun for me, don't play.
Do it, pussy. Do it. Do it, pussy.
You hear me?
Yeah, cat. Before you die, my friend, seek the Lord. Reach out and touch him now, and believe in his word. Confess your sins to him. Super cat can murder you now. Before you die, seek the Lord. Yeah, me. Me want to reverse the earth, but me put in the dead. Long time me kill it, so now here when me said me want.
They had to be able to clash, entertain, improvise, and create moments that people would remember for years. And Ninjaman was one of the masters of that.
Make up your mind and make sure it decide if me fi put Buju Bant on one side. Make up your mind and make sure it decide if me fi put Buju Bant on one side. I murder the bitch, them know me nah hide. Me and me gun in me hand, me dey glide like a ninja bike, me start ride. Make up your mind and make sure it decide if me fi put Buju Bant on one side.
His stage name became almost as famous as his real name, and his Don Gorgon persona became a huge part of dancehall culture. But what made Ninjaman different was the humor. There was something almost theatrical about him. He could be aggressive 1 minute and hilarious the next. He could make an audience laugh with a facial expression, a line, a movement, or some completely unexpected piece of behavior. And that is something people sometimes forget when they talk about his career. Ninjaman wasn't only about violence, clashes, or the tough guy image associated with dancehall at the time. He was an entertainer. He understood that the audience wanted to have fun. They wanted excitement. They wanted something they could talk about after the show. And Ninjaman knew how to give them that.
Building block, we are the building block. The Jamaica come back we are the building block. The Jamaica come back on the building block. Say 1980, I did the pay gunshot. That's the time when election drop. Labor right back, a PNP back. PNP jump back, a labor right back. Out the street and a pay gunshot. Bet your life is the next man job. House a gun down flat. People left with a homeless spot. 88 like a sudden attack. That's the time till bird come back. Down me house, lick down me house top. Pick up the roof up on me grandmother shop. If you got father and broke him back. All the disaster me worry pay, but the right building block we are the building block.
His career also became closely associated with some of the biggest clashes in dancehall history. He went up against major names and wasn't afraid to put his reputation on the line. He became famous for his confidence, his creativity, and his ability to turn a clash into theater. Sometimes he won, sometimes he lost. But even when Ninjaman wasn't victorious, people remembered him. And that is a special quality. Not every artist can create moments that become part of the culture. Ninjaman could. For many older dancehall fans, hearing his name immediately takes them back to another era. An era of sound system clashes, packed venues, massive stage shows, and artists who had larger-than-life personalities. Ninjaman represented that era in a way very few others could. He was unpredictable, he was funny, he was loud, he was energetic, and he was never afraid to be himself.
I'm going to tell you the truth, you know. When I'm a bad man, you know, girlfriend.
Emily. Crooks.
Emily
Crooks.
Emily, whatever. Anyway, when me I say Emily.
Are you clean?
Yeah?
Never smoke anything before you came this morning?
I smoke weed. You have a problem with that?
You smoke weed?
Yeah.
How you get it? Plant it?
A girl, you are a real informer, you know, man.
Emily. Have to keep correcting you.
Where
you
know, so you
plant
give me
it?
like a you named Keisha.
Eh? Your wife give you problems?
Anyway, when me I say, Emily.
Your wife give you problems?
You're too fast, Emily, man. I know that we come here to deal with.
That's why I'm a journalist. I ask the question.
I say a man supposed to not like you.
Yeah? That's very, very personal. We want to get back to the nitty-gritty.
So we want to get back going in me and Keisha life. You never know say me and Keisha life personal, but you want to dig down in my one. Eh?
We're going to take a break. When
you better broke up.
In 2017, Ninjaman was convicted of the 2009 murder of Ricardo Johnson and sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum of 25 years before becoming eligible for parole. He was convicted alongside his son, Janeel Ballantyne and Dennis Clayton. The convictions and sentences have been challenged on appeal, and in July 2026, the Court of Appeal heard arguments in the case before reserving its judgment. So, when fans say they want to see Ninjaman free, it is important to understand that his legal situation is still a matter for the courts. Supporting someone does not mean ignoring the seriousness of the case. It means recognizing that people can still care about an artist, remember the positive impact they had on culture, and hope that the legal process reaches a just outcome. And while Ninjaman has been behind bars, something remarkable has happened. His presence in dancehall never completely disappeared. His name continues to come up whenever people talk about the great entertainers of his generation. Fans still remember the clashes, they remember the jokes, they remember the performances, they remember the outrageous moments, they remember the voice, and perhaps, most importantly, they remember how Ninjaman made them feel, because that is what separates an entertainer from somebody who simply releases music. An entertainer becomes part of people's memories. You might forget the exact lyrics to a song, but you don't forget the moment Ninjaman had an entire crowd laughing. There is also another side of Ninjaman that deserves attention. During his imprisonment, he has spoken publicly about prison reform, rehabilitation, and giving inmates opportunities to develop useful skills. In letters to Jamaican political leaders, he argued that people inside prison should have opportunities to work, learn trades, and contribute positively to society.
I don't business about no back pay, cause back pay not pay. Put in one new thing, you know, that them proud to work happy for work, willing for work, and not even remember saying they have back pay.
Whether people agree with every opinion he has expressed or not, it shows that his mind has continued to be active while incarcerated. He has even continued to be involved with music while in prison, with new material being released during his incarceration. And that leads us to the question that many fans keep asking: what would happen if Ninjaman came home? Imagine the reaction. Imagine Ninjaman walking back onto a dancehall stage after all these years. Imagine the crowd hearing that voice again. Imagine the jokes, imagine the stories, imagine him looking at the younger generation of artists and telling them exactly what he thinks. And imagine the older fans who grew up watching him finally getting the chance to see him perform again. That is why the conversation around Ninjaman is about more than music. For many people, he represents a piece of their youth. He represents a period in Jamaican culture that they feel is slowly disappearing. He represents an era when dancehall entertainers had personalities that were almost bigger than life itself. And perhaps that is why people miss him so much. They don't simply miss the songs, they miss the character, they miss the laughter, they miss the unpredictability.
I make sure me not talk to woman with too poor, you know. Me talk to woman with can't mind all me too.
That's a worthless mentality.
No,
Is it
not a worthless mentality. A man that have sense that, because you don't know the responsibility of one child, but just to go have 23. And when you see some when 23 people start call upon you, and are you alone, you think you're going to please nobody. You must never, as a young man, never take up a woman that when you put on one, she can't put on one too.
Today, dancehall has an entirely new generation of artists, and many of them are talented in their own right. But Ninjaman came from a different school, a school where an artist had to be able to entertain people face to face. A school where a microphone wasn't just for recording songs, it was a weapon, a comedy prop, a storytelling tool, and a way to control an entire crowd.
No Jamaica from Jamaica, you could go count the hotel them. Pegasus and Windham. Now even Port and Backward becomes a hotel strip. That means the country is growing.
Ninjaman understood that better than most, and whether you loved him, disliked him, laughed at him, or argued with him, you couldn't easily ignore him. That is the mark of a true character, and perhaps that is the biggest reason dancehall fans still talk about him.
That money they want to give me now, so that must make me work sing. Because you have a little careless woman where you have about this, so it's leng. When me tell you something, look a red copper color sitting out, so we are talking about one grateful. Tell her, say, the younger one can't grateful, I must be people who promote thing. Because the work when me do this thing, nobody can pay me boy a feet, here. So that little red and scoopy or something out there, so. Little loquacious characters and mendicant and little nincompoop where you have out there, so. We address ourselves. We don't know how to make our decency counter our piggish mentality. They are don't perplex my tranquility. Because she's nothing but a sappy piece of cloth.
Years have passed, but the memories haven't disappeared. His legal battle continues, and as of July 2026, the Court of Appeal has reserved judgment after hearing arguments in his appeal. Nobody can predict what the final outcome will be, but one thing is clear. Ninjaman still has a place in the hearts of many dancehall fans.
It's a little style way about him, dig it home, dig it home, dig it home. Let me tell you something. You have to look at them, and the problem is that. That's why you have to straighten out that demon thing here. All I look at you, them in the school nowadays, family, is family. You don't have no more popcorn in the people, then heat out that. It's family.
His legacy is complicated, just like the history of many major figures in music. But his contribution as an entertainer, performer, and personality cannot simply be erased. Ninjaman wasn't just a DJ who made records. He was a performer who created moments. He made people laugh. He made people talk. He created controversy. He created excitement. He helped shape the culture of clashes and lived dancehall entertainment. And for those who grew up watching him, That means something. So when people say they want Ninjaman free, for many of them, they're not simply asking for an entertainer to return to the stage. They're hoping to see a piece of an era return. They're hoping to hear the Don Gorgon again. They're hoping to see that wild personality, that humor, and that confidence back in front of a microphone. But until the courts make their final decision, the legal process must take its course. What fans can do is remember the music, remember the entertainment, discuss the case respectfully, and continue to have the conversation. Because whether you were there during the great clashes or discovered Ninjaman years later through old performances online, his impact is still being felt. And maybe one day, if the legal process allows it, we could see Ninjaman walk onto a stage again. And if that day ever comes, you already know what is going to happen. The crowd is going to erupt. People are going to laugh. People are going to remember where they were when they first heard him. And somewhere in that crowd will be fans who have been waiting for years to see the Don Gorgon return. Ninjaman is not just remembered because of the records he made. He is remembered because of the personality.
Me have breadfruit, me have pear, me have banana, me have apple. This brother have mango.
So why you come at the man, you have to take the man things? You have so much things in your yard. And then you pick up me now. Right, to get me in a problem now.
Listen, girlfriend, if you come for thief, you come for thief. You don't come for argue.
Me tell you say me come for thief with you, Stephen Mango?
So where you come from?
Me didn't even know say the man Mango you come for thief.
Yo, I'm not talking now, because I don't know where you really left your yard from here for if you're not intent for thief.
Me not thieving nothing, me just accompany in case nothing, me can drive you.
In case what? In case what? We are telling about in case.
We don't talk to you.
Not more than him losing mango them and him gonna have to bear it. I'll want them something. Me have one thing to tell you, Lisa Anna. Any day I know your yard, your security them better can shoot good. Come here, come thief your color lady. How you feel like? You a minister, eh? And she is a MP, and she is Miss Jamaica, Miss World. Your security then could have high like it felt the tree at Charlton. Me a broke in your yard, me a thief your callaloo, and if you have pop chow, me a thief it. If you have we call it cabbage, lettuce. Let me tell you something, tomatoes, pepper, lady, I'm coming to thief your callaloo. I'm coming to thief your organic food. You see? And you want with me and Lisa. You're not afraid of me. You're not afraid of my yard. You Richie Steve and the whole are not afraid of my yard. You notice my pear them ripe and I have to give them where my apple ripe and I have to give them where my breadfruit ripe and drop. Eh? Because you're not afraid to come thief.
He made people laugh. He made people argue. He made people cheer. He made people talk. And most importantly, he made people remember him.
And I'm a real bad man, Emily. I'm not a hypocrite. That's why certain things bad man don't do.
What exactly has the bad man done to this point?
A bad man have a responsibility to see that the children in the community goes out and come in safe. A bad man in the community see to it that terrorists does not terrorize the community, rape the little school people them, terrorize the poor people them, rob you when you go to work from Monday till Friday, and the one money you have to come in to take care of the people them, then rob you and take it and go to shoot you, kill you. That is a responsibility. Dodos is a bad man, real bad man. Zeeks is a real bad man.
How do you know
Adams is a real bad man. Leng is a real bad man. Tone Youth a real bad man. Starkey, Copper, Rag in the whole of we have stand up as a real bad man. The people that protect Jamaica from terrorists are real bad man. Terrorists and bad man are two different things.
And Ninjaman ranks in that group.
Dan Dan Gorgon, real bad man.
That is why so many fans love him. That is why so many fans miss him. And that is why, even after all these years, the name Ninjaman still carries weight. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to the channel, follow me, and share this with another dancehall fan. And tell me in the comments, if Ninjaman is eventually freed, do you think he should return to the stage and teach the younger generation what real dancehall clashing and entertainment used to be? I want to hear what you think.